Ancient Greece, the land of gods, warriors, and minds. The first light of dawn spilled over the jagged peaks of Mount Olympus, glinting across the olive groves and sun-scorched hills of Hellas. In the villages and city-states, the people stirred, unaware that they lived at the dawn of an era that would forever shape the world. It was a land of contrasts, mountain fortresses and fragile harbors, democratic debates and militaristic rigor, poets' songs and the clash of bronze-clad warriors. Here, every stone told a story, and every story bore witness to humanity's eternal struggle for glory, wisdom and immortality and memory. The rise of the city-states. In the earliest days, the Greek world was a mosaic of independent city-states, or polis, each fiercely protective of its autonomy. Athens, perched above the Aegean, began as a hub of trade and culture. Its citizens aspired to more than survival. They dreamed of law, art, and civic participation. Enter Solon, the wise reformer. He walked through the bustling agora, watching merchants, farmers, and laborers, and with his careful reforms, he gave voice to ordinary Athenians, planting the seeds of democracy. To the south, in the harsh plains of Laconia, lay Sparta, where life was measured in strength and endurance. From early childhood, boys were taken from their families to live under the austere code of Lycurgus. Discipline was absolute. Weakness was unacceptable. Spartan warriors became living symbols of courage, their lives a testament to the idea that the state was greater than the individual. Even in smaller cities, ambition and innovation flourished. Corinth became a center of commerce, Delphi a sacred site of prophecy, and Rhodes a beacon of architecture and art. Across these city-states, the Greeks shared language, religion, and a profound reverence for human achievement. Yet competition, and often war, was never far behind. The age of heroes and epics. Long before democracy or armies, there were tales that shaped Greek identity. Homer, a blind poet of unmatched vision, wove the Iliad and Odyssey, epic songs of heroism, honor, and the whims of gods. Achilles, with his unmatched strength and tragic pride, and Odysseus, cunning and relentless, became archetypes of courage and human struggle. These stories were sung in courtyards and markets, and their lessons were absorbed by warriors and statesmen alike. Bravery, cunning, loyalty, and honor were the currency of a lasting legacy. The Persian threat and the unity of Greece. The first true test of Greek unity came with the Persian invasions. Vast armies swept westward from the east, threatening to engulf the fractured Greek cities. At Marathon, in 490 BCE, the fate of Athens hung by a thread. Outnumbered 5-1, the Athenian hoplites, fueled by courage and discipline, faced the invaders on an open plain. History remembers their victory not just for its military brilliance, but for the will it symbolized. Even the mightiest empire could be challenged by men who fought for home, freedom, and honor. 10 years later, the Persian threat returned with vengeance. At Thermopylae, King Leonidas of Sparta and his 300 warriors held the narrow pass against a seemingly endless wave of soldiers. For 3 days, the Spartans struck with unmatched skill and bravery. Even as arrows darkened the sky and the mountain echoed with battle cries, their sacrifice became legend, proof that courage, even in the face of inevitable death, could inspire generations. At sea, Themistocles orchestrated victory at Salamis, where the nimble Athenian triremes outmaneuvered the massive Persian fleet. And finally, at Plataea, the Greeks delivered the decisive blow that would safeguard their homeland, proving that unity and strategy could overcome tyranny. The Golden Age of Athens. Victorious yet wary, Athens entered a period of extraordinary cultural and intellectual flowering. Under Pericles, the city reached its zenith. The Parthenon rose atop the Acropolis, a marble testament to divine inspiration and civic pride. Philosophers debated in the Agora. Socrates, ever questioning, challenged Athenians to examine the very foundations of virtue. Plato imagined ideal societies in dialogues that explored justice and the nature of reality. Aristotle, a polymath and tutor to future kings, cataloged knowledge from logic to biology. Artisans sculpted statues that seemed to breathe. Dramatists such as Sophocles and Euripides explored the depths of human emotion, revealing both hubris and compassion. The city thrived, a beacon of human potential, a place where ideas could flourish even amid the tension of politics and power. the Peloponnesian War, but brilliance and ambition often breed conflict. Athens' dominance provoked Sparta, and soon the two powers were locked in a bitter struggle. The Peloponnesian War, a 30-year cataclysm, pitted strategy against discipline, democracy against oligarchy. Cities were sieged, crops destroyed, and famine spread. Thucydides, chronicling the conflict, wrote not merely of battles but of human nature, of pride, fear, and cunning. Victory was fleeting. Morality was tested. Athens, once radiant, suffered plague and internal strife, while Sparta's rigid strength could not shield it from the ultimate cost of war, exhaustion of the Greek spirit. The rise of Macedon and Alexander's conquests. In the aftermath, a new power arose in the north. Philip II of Macedon, a brilliant strategist, united the Greek city-states under Macedonian rule. But it was his son, Alexander, who would forever change the world. Alexander, tutored by Aristotle, combined intellect, charisma, and unmatched ambition. At Issus, he shattered Persian lines. At Gaugamela, he conquered the Persian Empire itself. He marched through Egypt, where he was hailed as a pharaoh, and crossed the deserts of India, carrying Greek culture across continents. Cities rose, libraries were built, and Greek thought spread from the Aegean to the Indus, ushering in the Hellenistic era, a fusion of cultures, knowledge, and ambition. Philosophy, science, and art. Even as armies marched and empires rose, the Greeks never ceased questioning, building, and imagining. Pythagoras saw the universe in numbers. Archimedes discovered the principles of leverage and buoyancy. Hippocrates studied medicine systematically, treating disease with observation and reason rather than superstition. Their art celebrated the human form and emotion. Temples reached for the heavens, their columns and friezes testifying to symmetry, balance, and divine order. Theater explored the human psyche, revealing both the flaws and grandeur of mankind. The Greeks sought arete, excellence in all things, believing that the pursuit of knowledge, courage, and virtue was itself immortal. Legacy of ancient Greece. By the time Rome rose, the Greek city-states had fragmented, their political power waning. Yet their legacy endured. Democracy, philosophy, science, art, and literature were immortal, influencing civilizations across time. The courage of Marathon and Thermopylae, the intellect of Socrates and Aristotle, the ambition of Alexander, they became archetypes of human aspiration. Greece taught the world that greatness lies not only in conquest, but in thought, in questioning, in striving for understanding, and in shaping a society capable of celebrating both the mind and the spirit. Final reflection. Ancient Greece was an epic of contrasts. War and peace, reason and myth, freedom and discipline. It was a land where ordinary men could rise to heroism, where questions were as powerful as swords, and where the pursuit of excellence became a guiding light for millennia. In every temple, every battlefield, every dialogue in the agora, the Greeks whispered to the future. Know yourself, strive, endure, and leave the world better than you found it.